Hey, it's DK. Welcome to part 2 of All About Painting. It's going to be pretty long, so hop around and grab what you need. Let's get started. So these are aqueous, and I'm gonna use this instead of my homemade one. Since I have it, I'm gonna use it all. So what you do is shake it up. If you have a funnel, that'd be nice. Since this is 1-to-1, we're gonna fill this aqueous thinner into this bottle. So I'm just gonna fill it up. So by putting the thinner in here and shaking it up, I'm gonna get all of those like residues, and I'm gonna put a little more because I see some stuff under it. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing for the black one. Before I close it, I bought these metal balls. Just gonna drop in 2. It just helps mix better. Since I don't want to lose this, yes, I'll put it in there. And I kind of freaked out initially when I was painting, because what if I don't remember which piece goes where? Never happened. You just have to match it. And once you build view and disassemble view, you kind of know what's what, which will go where. And I really didn't like that scribing, so I'm gonna fix that. First, I'm gonna decide which one I'm gonna use aqueous with, which one I'm gonna use water-based. Since we're testing, we should do like half and half, right? So left arm, right arm. So before we actually paint, we have to prep these Gunpla plastics. You should wash your ready plastic before you start priming, because little dust in between the crack or anywhere in here, it will mess up your primer. So washing before painting is really necessary, but we gotta do one more step before we prime. All these are gonna be aqueous prime, so I'm not gonna do anything until I wash them. But these, since I'm gonna use water-based primer, I need to sand everything. We're not trying to sand anything, rough. We're just trying to make the surface a little rough so primer can stick better. That's all we're doing. This bit, it's an armband, has that little molding line. But if we sand this enough, this is what I mean by fixing the Gunpla molding line. If you messed up your scribing line, you try to sand with a lower grit to actually reform the plastic. But this is a really slight molding line that's protruding out, so I'm still using 800. You don't see the molding line anymore. This one, this is Demi epoxy. You just have to mix them 1-to-1. Just gonna do a small amount. It takes quite a time to cure, so looks like I'm not gonna do anything till tomorrow. About that much. And just mix them. Once this thing dries, it dries like a plastic. So I'm just gonna put it on top, try to fill the gap, and sand it when it's done. I mean, you can do a lot of things with this if you want to make this arm stick out a little bit. And we can detail it when it's dried. Yeah? Okay, it's been a day. I think I curved this one too much. I think I need that much clearance for Gundam's arm to move. I just got this ultrasonic cleaner from AliExpress for like $5. It's working. Cleaning is important, but drying is also important. Those leftover waters will prevent the bond or make the painting not work at all, so make sure to get rid of them. So after petting them dry, I come in with the cotton swab to do some detail drying. We're finally at the painting booth, but safety first. And reading off of the Badger's instruction, I'm using 5mm nozzle with 28-30-ish psi pressure. And when you airbrush, don't try to do everything in one press. Go like pulsate. On your first spray, it might look like you're not putting on any paints, but you are. It's really fine dust. You do a second coat, third coat, you start seeing stuff changing. And towards the end, with the leftover paints in the cup, I just spray the whole thing. I'm moving to same water type black, so I'm just giving it a light wash. I try to use more water, distilled water, than anything else, since most of my paints are water based anyway. But towards the end, I did put some alcohol to clean it out better. First time using this black gloss primer, it's working pretty well, and it did end up turning glossy. Now I'm switching over to aqueous primer, so I'm giving it a little bit more of a wash. Cleaning the tip with Q-tip. Painting was almost same. It felt like I did have to do a few more layers to fully cover, but it turned out great. And surprisingly, it didn't smell too bad. Top two are the water-based, bottom two are aqueous. Badger Gray was a bit darker, but other than that, no difference here. Okay, so we're comparing darker one, water silver one. I sanded it and put it on. Aqueous one, I didn't sand anything. Washed it, primed it right away. The black ones, I'm just gonna be straight up painting them gunmetal gray, so I don't need them here anymore. Here we're testing the bonding of each primer, because these two, I sanded it in the water primer. These two I did not sand it, aqueous primer. When you're masking, you don't just put it straight from the tape. You have to loosen up the stickiness a little bit. So I usually go put it against my skin, put it on my cutting board a few times. I think I know what I'm gonna use. You know what? I'm gonna try to chip this. Skin covered on the floor, cut it. Now we're trying to chip it and do the same to the aqueous. Scratching it on so hard, so like, okay, it's on. More pressure on this one too, because I think I put too much pressure on the aqueous. And we go like this. A little bit. Now I'm gonna do aqueous. Let's see. This just picked up a paint that was in the groove, so nothing got chipped. Alright, hard on pressing. These corners are usually so weak, but I'm even pressing hard on the corners because I am trying to chip this aqueous. It should chip. Okay. I learned. Just in case, we're gonna do another test. See, I just took it straight out of the tape dispenser. Then I put one on this side. Right there. Straight on. Rub against it. Try to cut some. Gone. I guess my sanding wasn't hard enough. Gone. Let's see what happens to the aqueous primer. Holy sh**. See how hard I'm pulling it out? Here is a conclusion that I'm gonna make. When I'm just priming to change color of the product, I'll use water-based since they smell less. But if I'm masking to make a complicated piece, I'm 100% using the aqueous primer. Oh my god, this is such a big difference. Please make sure to paint in ventilated area and don't forget your safety gear, mask. I knew I wanted to paint the inner frame with the gunmetal, so I pre-mixed it, pre-thinned it with the lacquer leveling thinner. Tamiya acrylics can be thinned with my homemade thinner, but I tried it with the lacquer leveling thinner because I just got them. I wanted to see the difference between this and the homemade thinner. It surprisingly worked well, and also it didn't smell like a lacquer spray after the paint. If it works well like this every time, I might just stick with this for the alcohol solvent paints and just use homemade for the water solvent paints. And this aqueous 63 metallic blue-green was also thinned with the leveling thinner. And towards the end, I usually spray the leftover paints all over the pieces. I didn't have a mute or off gray or off white color, so I'm trying to mix something. I started with the pure white, added some gray, added some flakes, add more water. I am gonna be super honest with this. Like initial two color, gunmetal and green, they were alcohol solvent paint, Tamiya and aqueous, and it went on much easier, nicer than this. And this is solely water-based gallery color. Towards the end, I got the thinning ratio right and everything worked out fine, but alcohol solvent ones were easier to work with. Since I do my paints in my room, cleanup is also important. Even if you're not doing it in your room, you should at least clean up your airbrush. You don't want those paints get stuck in there or dry in there. And towards the end, I do some touch-up, usually with Gundam markers or enamels. Demi trainer came with the swappable chest stickers. I'm just repainting them with the Gundam marker here. Also did the red just in case. And I usually use the enamel green fluorescent for the Gundam eyepieces and some other pieces like chest or this gun for instance. I'm putting it on a clip and gonna dry it parallel to the ground so it dries flat. Like I said in the previous video, enamels dry slow so they are able to flatten themselves with gravity. I think painting decals might be considered cheating, but if I'm not using this method, I'll probably spend about 30 minutes to just mask out the whole chest piece except that sticker area. There is no bad method, it's your Gunpla, just use your style. And rest is just putting it together. And to be honest, this doesn't look super nice or super good. I just wanted to make a guide that 6 months ago me will enjoy watching. Scribing, panel lining, painting, airbrushing. I'm only scratching the surface. I just picked the most simple kit from my stash to make this simple guide. Hopefully it helped few of you. If you have any question, anything to say, use the comment section below. I think this will be last part for Gunpla 101 series for now. When I get better, I'll make some advanced tutorials. But for now, don't forget to subscribe and comment below. I'm gonna go back to making a fun build now. See you in the next one.